What is going on? It is Nate the Game Guy coming back with another video at hand, and today I want to talk to you guys about some tips on how you can save some money and just get deals on eBay when it comes to buying and collecting video games. Now, I've been a game collector for a very long time, and of course, I have used eBay plenty of times over the years. I've picked up some great deals over the years, not all the time, but with some of the things that I have been taught from other collectors, along with some first-hand experience that I have taught myself, I was able to save myself a few bucks here and there when it comes to shopping online with eBay for video games. Now, I do want to give a quick disclaimer and a spoiler for this video. If you expect to get games where essentially you are paying garage sale prices for video games, this is not going to be the video. There is not really any way you can go about that when it comes to getting deals and saving money when buying video games on eBay. But if you do want to just save a few bucks here and there and learn a thing or two, this will be the video for you. So, without further ado, let's jump right into this video's topic. Take a look at some really interesting ways on how you could save a few bucks when you're trying to get some of those video games right after the intro. Alright, so before I jump into this video's topic, I just want to give a quick moment and say if you find any of the information at all helpful, informative, all that wonderful stuff, please do consider giving the video a like. It does help boost it up into the YouTube algorithm so more viewers such as you can find videos just like this. And of course, please do consider subscribing because I post a ton of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So if that is something that interests you guys, I strongly recommend that you do consider subscribing. But if you're going to subscribe, do not forget to hit the bell notification button so you will be notified when I upload a video just like this. Now, let's talk about the first tip that I want to give when it comes to saving some money on video games when shopping on eBay. You might want to look at auctions first before you go to your go-to buy it now listings. Now, here's the thing about auctions, okay? Yes, you can save money when you are buying, I don't know, Rayman 2 on Nintendo 64 or something, right? You can save a few bucks if you try to shop through an auction instead of going through buy it now. However, here's the big thing. You're not always going to get a deal with auctions. My thing that I would strongly recommend when it comes to buying stuff through auction, whether it's a game for the Nintendo 64 or something as modern as, like, I don't know, the new Warhammer Space Marines 2 game, right? The thing is, you got to know is you might want to do is look into some sniping first. What I mean by sniping, essentially what you want to do is when you are bidding on something on eBay and the timer is like under 10 seconds, 5 seconds, the sooner you're able to do it, like before the countdown or further when the countdown's about to end, the better. You want to put in your max bid. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you just got to be comfortable that, hey, sometimes someone will go past your max bid. It will happen because after all, you're trying to get a deal. If someone else wants to pay more than what you're paying for or what it's worth or whatever, that's their problem, not your problem. Of course, with auctions as well, this also works great with consoles and lots where it's a whole bunch of games thrown in together. If you find the right auction, you can really get a great deal on games. Now, of course, like I said, you're only most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, you'll probably only save about like a few bucks here and there. So you're not going to get like some enormous deal. So for example, if you are trying to bid on a game that's worth about $200, you should probably expect to pay around $150 to $190. And this is based on my own experience on buying some of those games that are in that price range. So you're not always going to get a steep discount, but sometimes you may want to consider auctions because, you know, saving a few bucks here and there might help you be able to pick up some more games. Now, let's talk about lots when buying for games on eBay. So what is a lot? A lot is essentially a whole bunch of games thrown into one listing as a bundle, whether it's 10, 15, 5, 30, whatever that amount may be, that is a lot. And you can save a lot of money buying lots if you're smart about it when shopping on eBay. One of the best ways that you can tell if you're getting a great deal on a lot is, say for example, say you find a lot for $50, comes with 10 games. If you divide 10 into 50, you are paying $5 per game. So if you also want to take things another step further, you can do is check to see, say if, I don't know, say it's got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas in the lot. You would look up if the game is complete in the lot, how much a complete in-box copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is. Now, I personally haven't been looking at prices of the game, but I do remember they would sometimes be worth about $20. So sometimes if you have a bunch of games that are well over $5 or a little over $5, or if you just think paying $5 per game is a good deal, that is a good deal. And of course, with lots, they can be just like auctions. There are auctions for lots, where I just talked about auctions earlier. And of course, there's lots for buy it now. Of course, you just kind of have to look at these lots, go through some of the games just to make sure, hey, like, you know, do you think you're getting a good deal on some of these games or not? If you are getting a good deal, go for it. If you don't think it's a good deal, of course, you can always pass over it. Now, I think with this tip, this is something that a lot of people overlook a lot of times, but sometimes you may want to buy consoles that come with games, even if you own the console already. Let me tell you a little story of mine of some shopping that I did many years ago. So, I have Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the original Xbox. No matter what game console you decide to purchase Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on, whether it's PS2, Dreamcast, OG Xbox, it is a relatively sought-after game that is pretty expensive. I saw once on eBay that somebody was selling an original Xbox, came with a whole bunch of games, and it included Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Now, I already had an original Xbox at the time, and I still have my original Xbox too. But I decided to buy it was because not only did it come with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I was going through some of the games, and I was looking up, as mentioned earlier, how you can look up some of the games in these lots. To me, I just looked at it as a lot that just came with a game console that I had already. So I just looked through the games, I looked at how much the price was, and it just made total sense for me that even though I already had an original Xbox, I decided to purchase that lot. It was because if I were to buy all those games separately instead of purchasing a bundle where it came with a console that I already own, it would have been more expensive to buy all the games separately than to pass over this listing. So I bought the listing where it came with the original Xbox and all the games. So that is something that you guys might want to implement for yourselves. You know, you might want to sometimes look at whether it's a Xbox 360 that you guys already have, or a Sega Genesis, or a GameCube or whatever, right? Sometimes it might be worth looking over some of those listings on eBay where, you know, even though you've already got the game console, you know, you may want to buy that listing. And of course, if you already have the console, you could always sell it. You could always trade it into your local game store if they've got like a good promotion or a deal for you. Those are some things that I strongly recommend that you guys do consider. Now this right here has to be one of my favorite tips, if not the favorite tip of mine when it comes to saving money and getting deals on eBay, when it comes to game collecting, and that is going through wholesale lots and console bundles, where not only are you looking at games to add to the collection, but to also flip as well. I have saved so much money and added so many games to my collection with this strategy. Let me give you an example. Several years ago, I went through a Xbox 360 lot, and I would purposely look for 360 lots because the 360 is not as sought after and as collectible as 64, Dreamcast, and other game consoles, so I wouldn't have to compete with as many people. I remember one time I found a guy where he was selling an Xbox 360 lot where it was about $30, I think, with free shipping. It came with Need for Speed Most Wanted, a complete in-box copy, the 2005 release, and it came with a few other games as well. There weren't very many games in the lot. It was about 4 or 5, but the fact that it included Most Wanted in there, I knew if I were to buy that, not only would I be able to keep all the games in the lot, but I would be able to sell that copy of Most Wanted and get just a little bit of profit afterwards, where not only would I be adding games to my collection, but I would have extra money left over that could be used to buy more games. I would specifically look for lots with opportunities that would give me just that, where I would be adding games and also making a little bit of some extra money on the side to add to my collection. Guys, this is something that you got to try out whenever you have the opportunity to do so, because after all, more money for you to buy games that to add to the collection, and you're adding games to your collection. This is how I've picked up some of my Sega Saturn games over the years, because after all, the Saturn is a very expensive game console to collect for. And of course, adding more games to the collection through just the standard flipping and all that, right? You got to try this out. I'm telling you, you guys will thank me later if you have success with this and if you have a successful shot with it. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. Please be sure to check out these videos here, and here. After all, I post a lot of content when it comes to game collecting tips, and other video game related subjects. So be sure to keep an eye out every Monday and Friday where I upload consistently, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.